Assalamu alaikum, Miss.
Sami Public School and College, Khanewal. Class 12 biology lecture is here, and our chapter is chemical coordination. And today I'm going to tell you about the thyroid glands, parathyroid glands, and pancreas. So let's start with the thyroid glands. You can see here the thyroid glands that are present in your neck region. This is larynx, and below the larynx there is trachea, and above the trachea you can see here this structure, the butterfly-like structure. This gland is called the thyroid gland. Okay, so you can say that the thyroid gland is one of the largest endocrine glands located immediately below the larynx. Then it's below the larynx and interior of the upper part of the trachea. It weighs about 15 to 20 grams. It consists of two lateral lobes. You can see here one and two. These two lobes are here. Okay, connected by a narrow band of thyroid tissues called the isthmus. Here, this is the central part which is attaching it with this. So this is called the isthmus. This is the central part which is holding these two lobes. The isthmus usually overlays the region from the second to fourth brachial cartilage. This is like second, and this is fourth. So it is in between part is isthmus. Next is about the 14 parathyroid glands located posteriorly each pole of the thyroid glands. We will see it later, the parathyroid gland. Now let's come towards the hormones secreted by the thyroid glands in your neck region. So the first hormone is the thyroxine. Its name is T4. We call it T4 also. Next is triiodothyronine. It's also known as the T3. And next is the calcitonin. So one thyroxine, triiodothyronine, T3, and calcitonin. So today we will see T4, T3, and calcitonin, how they function. Like first is function of T3 and T4. The T3 and T4 act on basal metabolic rate of body. Why? What is a basal metabolic rate of body? The simple chemical reactions that take place in your body, like the catabolism of glucose, produce heat, generate ATP, synthesis of cholesterol. So these all are the metabolic reactions that take place in your body, and it is holding by these two hormones, the T3 and the T4 hormone. Next thing that this act with the somatotrophin in bringing about, it is also helping you when it reacts with the somatotrophin. It helps you to bring the growth, act on muscles for development and functioning, motility of GI tract. What is GI tract? The gastrointestinal tract. So it is helping like for this catabolism and anabolism reaction in your body, the function of T3 and T4 cells. So next you can see here about the hormones T3 and T4. What else they do? Here are oversecretion of hyperthyroidism. Like we can say that when these hormones that we discussed, the T3 and T4 hormones, when these hormones are in excess amount, then they cause this disease known as the Graves' disease, the oversecretion. You can see here is in this disease what happened in Graves' disease, excess thyroxine is produced here. Fine. Exophthalmic goiter, you can see here the goiter. What is goiter? Thyroxine is a hormone, right? And when the thyroxine grows in more quantity, then it also causes the disease called the goiter. And you can see here, these are the eyes, and the eyes are very swelled. The Graves' disease is common cause of hyperthyroidism and overproduction of thyroid hormone, which causes enlargement of thyroids. You can see here, these are normal thyroids, but these are the enlarged thyroids just because of oversecretion of these glands. As exophthalmos, like you can see the eye walls become very large here. Heat intolerance and mixity, these all are the symptoms of this disease that is called the Graves' disease. This can lead to the cardiac failure if prolonged. If we don't deal with this disease that causes this diffuse water in it, then it can also cause the death. The cause of Graves' disease is the production of an abnormal body protein which continuously stimulates the thyroid to excessive secretion, and hence its rate gets increased. and increase, and it causes this certain problem. But if this is there is under secretion of these hormones, it is known as the hypo. Hypo means less. Thyroidism means the thyroid hormones. So it's one disease is known as the myxedema in adults. You can see like here dry pores, hairs, lateral eyebrows. You can see these becomes a thing. Periorbital edema, the lower part of the orbital of the eye cavity becomes swell. Eye feels very puffy, dull face with the dry skin. You can see here the swelling on the face, the puffy face with dry skin, and hence it can also cause the problem or allergy on these legs. So these all are about the myxedema is a disease that is caused by the low secretion of thyroid hormones known as the myxedema. And the excess cause the grave disease, right? Grave in which goiter also take place, and these eyes exophthalmos, like you can see these eyes region that becomes enlarged in size. Okay, let's come towards the myxedema. Myxedema is secretion under secretion of hypothyroidism where the hormones are in less amount. If we see it in infants, like these are small babies, if they got this disease, they don't have, they have low amount of thyroid glands. What happened in their body? Myxedema, okay, you can see here, the babies grow with, their metabolic rate is very less. Irregular heartbeat can be here, increased ventilation rate, body temperature increases, weight loss can also take place here, and it also leads to cardiac problems if live prolonged. So these are the problems that a baby can also face. It is also known as the congenital hypothyroidism in infants, right? Bone marrow maturation and puberty. Here, poor physical growth. Baby cannot grow properly. Mental retardation, mental health becomes weak, right? Disproportion body size also don't increase. Fail to develop sexually. Infertility is very common in such type of babies who have the hypothyroidism, where there is low rate of thyroid glands. So, what are the conditions here for the babies? Mental retardation, poor physical growth, poor maturation, and disappropriate body size, fail to develop sexually, or infertility is common. Next is a thyroid dysfunction. You can see here, this is the hypothyroidism and this is the hyperthyroidism, where the thyroid glands are less and where the thyroid glands are in excess. So here are the dry hair, puffy face, low heartbeat, weight gain, constipation, brittle nails, arthritis, cold intolerance, depression, dry skin, fatigue, memory loss, heavy menstrual periods, muscles ache. This is all due to the hypothyroidism. And what is hyperthyroidism? Hair loss, bulging eyes, sweating, rapid heartbeat, weight loss, regular gas, soft nails, sleeping difficulties, heat intolerance, infertility, irritability, muscles weakness, nervousness, scant menstrual periods. So these all are the effects of hyper and hypothyroidism. Now, there was another gland I told you about that we have seen these two, right? In the very start, I told you about the thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine T3. So T4 and T3 functions are cleared here about their growth and metabolic activities. And we also have seen their problem with hyper and hypothyroidism. Now let's see this calcitonin is also one hormone that is secreted from the thyroid gland. This is the calcitonin that you can see here. What is the function of the calcitonin? You can see here the bone. So calcitonin basically increase calcium level in the bone. What it does? Calcitonin is a hormone that increase the bone calcium level. It means it maintains the calcium in the bones. So this is all, secreted by the thyroid glands. Its function lower calcium level in blood. Obviously, when the bone is having high amount of calcium, the blood will have low content of the calcium, right? Except this inhibits calcium absorption by the intestine. It also does so. What else work it do? Inhibit calcium reabsorption in the kidney, excreted in the urine. So these all are the functions of the calcitonin. What can be the oversecretion? If calcitonin is in high amount, you can say that oversecretion and undersecretion. Undersecretion can cause calcium disturbance of calcium metabolism. Like this metabolism can be disturbed, and this can also be disturbed, right? And if we say that calcium metabolism seriously affect when it is excess in amount, it leads to disturbance calcium. Then it is oversecretion. Oversecretion inhibits calcium absorption, inhibits calcium reabsorption in the kidney, right? And disturbance in calcium metabolism seriously affects nerves, skeletal muscles, blood, it and may lead to the kidney stones also. So these are the problems with the calcitonin. Basically, it is responsible to deposit calcium into the bones, and hence the blood calcium level becomes the low. Next is the parathyroid gland. These are the thyroid glands. It is back side, right? This is the back side, and you can see here the four glands. These are the parathyroid glands. Okay, just see from this lateral view, you can see these are the parathyroid glands are present here, just behind the thyroid glands. These are the parathyroid glands. What are the parathyroid glands? You can see here are small in size and are found on the posterior aspect of thyroid. So these are present on posterior, but typically there are four of them, but the actual numbers may vary. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see with them what is their function. Number one, yes, parathyroid glands work antagonistically to the calcitonin. Calcitonin was responsible for the deposition of calcium in the bones, but it works opposite of that. It means it maintains the calcium level in the blood, not in the bone. So simply you can say that it moves calcium from bone towards the blood. So what is the function of parathyroid hormone? Activates osteoclast, calcium and phosphate ions released into the blood. So first what it do, osteoclast was the cells that destroy the bone cell. This means when calcium will move out of the bones, so osteoclast cells will work here. So basically this is the function of parathyroid hormone. Next is the increased calcium absorption from food. It also intestine. From intestine, it increases the calcium absorption from the food. Means that from here, your blood will get maximum calcium. It is just because of this hormone, parathyroid. Next is the kidney. Promotes activation of vitamin D and increased calcium reabsorption. You know that many salt and ions are also present in the kidney for the filtration process. From there, they are reabsorbed with the help of this hormone that is called the parathyroid hormone. Parathormone is that hormone. These are the functions of parathyroid glands, and if you see it's oversecretion and undersecretion. Undersecretion causes hypocalcemia, and oversecretion causes the hypercalcemia. What can be the effects of these two diseases? Hypocalcemia increased neuromuscular excitability, muscles cramp, muscles become in contracted state, right? And hypercalcemia decreased neuromuscular excitability, muscles becomes weakened, bone can easily be fractured, kidney stones can also take place, and constipation is one effect of this hypercalcemia where there is excess parathormone hormone in the body. Next it is the pancreas. What is pancreas? It consists of exocrine portion and endocrine. You are well known about exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine, the part which is having the duct, right? And you know that pancreas is also secreting its secretion into the intestine with the help of duct. And endocrine portion, that it is also giving hormones like glucagon and insulin. So these two hormones, for this purpose it is working as endocrine portion, and for the secretion that helps the digestion of these food contents, it is working as exocrine portion. These are the islets of Langerhans. What are the islets of Langerhans? Now I'm going to tell you about the endocrine portion, right? So for endocrine portion, they are the islets of Langerhans. Histologically, the islets consist of three major cell types: beta cells, alpha cells, and delta cells. So first, the beta cells, which synthesize and secrete insulin and make up 60% of the body. So beta cells are making insulin, alpha cells are making the glucagon in the blood. Function of insulin. What insulin do? When the body level glucose is raises, then it is controlled by hormone insulin come there. But do insulin work here? Liver and muscles, it stored glycogen, like it stored glucose in the form of glycogen with the help of liver. Next is muscle cells break it down for energy. Fat cells convert it glycerol for the forming of fat. Therefore, insulin lowers the blood sugar level. Role of glucagon. Glucagon increase the blood sugar level, right? Like the liver cells has stored the glucagon in the energy stored in form of glucagon. It will change this glucagon into the glucose, right? This is known as the glycogenolysis. One thing more, that lipids are also present there. They are also breakdown, and this is known as the gluconeogenesis. So these processes helps to generate glucose and increase the glucose level in the body. It is done by the glucagon. They are working antagonistically with each other, and they are also example of negative feedback mechanism. Under secretion of insulin, hyperglycemia, failure to produce insulin, diabetes mellitus is the problem. And if oversecretion of insulin takes place, the hypoglycemia and excess insulin produced upset nerve and muscles functioning. So hence, these are the problems related to the pancreas.